Warning. Even if Trump wins the election, those of us who want Donald Trump may still not get him as our president. The Heritage Foundation has been around since the 1970s, amassing dark money from hate groups, secret societies, and even foreign enemies to take over the U.S. The assassination attempt on July 13th took us all by surprise. But what if the people behind the assassination attempt were inside Trump's inner circle, waiting for a chance to get him out of their way? Let's take a look at the events leading up to the attempt. Rumors of an anti-constitutional policy called Project 2025 written by the Heritage Foundation circulates online and through media outlets. Trump responds to the negative feedback as nervous voters who support his platform begin to speak out about his affiliation to Project 2025 personnel. This is where things start getting suspicious. After the June 27th debate, Trump disappears for nearly 2 weeks without any word. While Biden was campaigning, Trump was missing in action. What sort of arguments may have been occurring behind closed doors between him and the Heritage Foundation members on his campaign team? It was known his preferred choice for vice president was Marco Rubio, and everyone expected this announcement at the Republican National Convention on July 15th. He continues to distance himself from Project 2025 by going on social media and stating he doesn't agree with all their policies, despite many of his former staff being authors of the document. The shooter, Thomas Matthew Crooks, was a registered Republican without a criminal record. He positions himself on a shed where he is easily seen by the crowd and where snipers can pick him off quickly. He was there for nearly 30 minutes, while law enforcement ignored his presence, even though various attendees of the rally noticed him and pointed him out. Did they knowingly let it happen? It raises the question, did the shooter truly intend to kill Trump? Or was he there to send a warning, to scare him back into the Project 2025 fold? Apparently it worked. Because after the incident, we see Trump aligning with the Heritage Foundation. He shocks the RNC by selecting Vance as his vice president, the man who wrote the foreword for the book by Kevin Roberts, the president of the Heritage Foundation, which has now had its release date postponed. He again selects Tom Homan to be part of his administration, a man who helped author the Project 2025 mandate and was the director of immigration services during Trump's first term, which resulted in the caging of children. Homan promises far worse violations in the future. Over 140 people who are tied to Project 2025 worked for, or still work for Trump. Aileen Cannon throws out Trump's trial over classified documents to postpone the trial on the day of the RNC. If she had the ability to do this, why didn't she do it before? Were they hanging this over Trump's head until he committed to them? Extremist Republicans in bed with Project 2025 immediately try to accuse the current administration of the assassination plot to validate their vicious policies, hoping they scare us into voting for their agenda. It seems like once they surrounded Trump and forced him into compliance, they cleared as many of the obstacles they could to try to ensure his victory. But are they doing this to let Trump win? Or are they only doing it to make sure one of their own becomes president like Vance? It's odd that another potential assassination attempt gets diverted in September when Ryan Routh was caught scouting out Donald Trump's golf course. Then we hear about the capture of another man, a Asif merchant, who was planning to offer $1 million to have Trump assassinated. It almost feels like we are being primed to accept the idea that Trump could be assassinated by someone, anyone, from anywhere. What if that's what the Heritage Foundation wants from us? Not to be surprised when something happens to Trump, so we accept Vance as president and the enactment of Project 2025 as a result. Is this a coup in the making? Did the people behind Project 2025, such as the Heritage Foundation and the 100 organizations funding them, find people willing to lay down their lives to help them pull off what could be the biggest political coup of all time? Over 100 organizations are backing the Heritage Foundation with funding, including the NRA. We also know the NRA was infiltrated by Russians who may still have a critical hold over key people in top leadership roles. Their involvement in our government could extend to congressional positions. Trump met with Orban from Hungary, just after Orban had a meeting with Putin. Then, we find out Elon Musk had Russian money behind him to buy Twitter. It's possible that Russia is involved with Project 2025. We all know Trump is a free thinker. This is exactly what the Heritage Foundation doesn't want. And the scary part, they already have his replacement set up, Vance. If Trump does not do what they want, they can do one of three things. 1. declare him unfit for office under the 25th Amendment, and have him removed so Vance can take over. We know his age has been an issue. They can weaponize that against him. 2. Impeach him over any of the upcoming court cases that cannot be dismissed, or create new charges against him. 3. Let Trump get assassinated since there have been previous attempts. Then we will be stuck with J.D. Vance, a corrupt businessman with a fake narrative of being one of us and a history of taking advantage of the working class for profit. He claimed to be from Appalachia, but he really grew up in a suburb in Ohio, took golf lessons, and got to go to Yale. Only his grandparents were from that region. He claims to be pro-family, yet he refuses to allow people struggling to have a family access to IVF. He voted against a bill for IVF protection in June. He takes advantage of farmers with his real estate app, Acre Trader, which sells family farmland and rental properties to foreign investors, literally selling us out to other countries. A vote for Trump is really a vote for Vance. The Heritage Foundation will see to that. They just need Trump to win so they can take over the country. In fact, voting for Trump might be the worst thing we can do for him. They will ruin him, and then they will ruin us.